All right, everyone, it's your boy Genius out here at the range today. Again, going through my collection. The first one being the SP01 from CZ, and then the P09 from CZ, my favorite brand. And then three from my second favorite brand, being the H&K VP9, the P30L, and now today I have the P2000sk. It is literally the only 40 S&W gun that I have ever kept. So we're going to get right into talking about it. But before we do that, just want to, as always, invite you to know Jesus Christ as your Savior. If you do not, make sure that you take care of that today. Ask me how. I'd be happy to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with you. So, why is it the only 40 cal that I've ever kept? Well, I did a video one time saying the most accurate subcompact 40 S&W that I've ever owned. You know, I got some hecklers about it, no pun intended. But as you saw from that one shooting montage, you know, 40 S&W out of a gun this size can be a handful. And for me to stay on target shooting, yeah, semi-slowly, and hit the same spot that many times in a row at 12 yards, I would say that I'm vindicated when I say that it's the most accurate subcompact 40 S&W that I have ever owned in my entire life. Okay, so we'll start up top just like we did on the P30L and also on the VP9. So this one just has standard steel 3-dot white sights. They are not luminescent. They are not night sights. It's just a standard 3-dot white. Okay. You do not have front serrations on this one. You only have the rear serrations, and you do have a ambi slide lock. Okay. You do have a 1-slot accessory rail up front and a serrated trigger guard on the front, and the trigger guard, as per usual with CZ and with H&K, is a nice large squared off trigger guard. Okay, easy to get in and out of there, gloves or otherwise. Very, very concealable and very carryable gun this is. Okay, this is obviously, it is a double single action, right? However, it's decocker only if you're going to carry this gun. Okay, there is no safety. So you put one in the slide, your hammer's back, you push the button on the rear that decocks the gun, and you will have to carry it from a double action setup. Okay, I would not, again, as I said with the P30L, advise carrying it around like that. Although out at the range, technically you can do that. It is a double single action trigger, but decocker only. You don't have a safety. I can't reiterate that enough. It must be decocked. You cannot carry it around cocked and locked. So either way, it is a decocker only. All right, trigger is about the same. If you watch the video on the P30L, it's about the same as the trigger on the P30L. Heavy on the double action, but it is smooth, zero grit. There's none of this, and I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that with some triggers. One that comes to mind is the S&W Bodyguard, the 380, where you start to pull the trigger, it's heavy, it lightens up, it feels like it's going to possibly maybe break, it feels like it touches or hits a wall, but nah, it just got harder. And you just don't know when that thing's going to break, and it sneaks up on you, kind of like maybe the Beretta APX-A1 carry. Okay, that's not the case with this one at all. It is very predictable. It is heavy, of course, but it is very predictable on the break, and there's zero grit, and it is consistent with that same pull weight all the way until it breaks. Okay. There is no defined wall on this gun. It just rolls through and breaks. But again, very predictable. Reset, long, just like on the P30L. It is tactile. It almost comes all the way back out, just like on the P30L. There's not a whole lot of a reset. If you're looking for a short reset, forget about it. Okay, it ain't gonna happen. It's a long reset, but at least you do know it reset. You feel it pushing back very very tactile on your finger, and very audible. With earplugs in, I can hear the audibleness of it. Okay, so trigger like the P30L, nothing to write home about. CZ triggers are a ton better. But let's move on down. It does have the paddle mag release on this. They're not as pronounced or tactile. They don't come back as far. They're very small on this gun actually. So on this particular one, although typically I prefer the paddle, on this particular one, sorry about that, not so much, because again, it's just not, there's not a whole lot of real estate there, right? On this one, I probably would prefer the button, or to have a button mag release, but if you don't, you have a very tiny paddle mag release. It is ambi on the slide lock. As I said, no safety, decocker only. Okay, you have two back straps. Very, very nice aggressive texturing on the rear and on the front with this little bump, finger groove, whatever you want to call it. And those two spots between the finger groove are textured very nicely. It is pretty slick on the side, not a whole lot of texturing on the side. You know, at one point in time, I had some Talon grip tape on here because, again, I wanted to have a better purchase on it, because it is a handful compact 40 S&W. Okay, so the texturing on the side could have been a little bit better. It does have these little divots or half moon cutouts at the bottom of the mag well to aid in ripping your mag out should you have to do that. The mag well is not flared in any way. It did come with two 9-round magazines, so it's 9 plus 1, 10 total. That's why I did get the Solemn 2 +3 extension. Sad to hear that they decided to close their business up, but they made some very good products. A Solemn 2 3-round or +3. So now I got 12, I got 13 in the 40 S&W, a very formidable defense round for any application really. So two 9-round magazines came in a nice carrying case, padded as per usual with your lock, and you know, like I said, your back straps, and that's about that. So I've carried this gun a lot. I'm subject to carrying it, yes, several times for several weeks in a row throughout the year, especially in the summer. It's a very, very deep concealed gun. It does not weigh a ton. And as you can see, I was pretty accurate with it when I need to be. So I'm going to put this 13-round magazine through the gun. Like I said, the gun, if you are recoil sensitive, there is some recoil on the gun, I will tell you. The video that I did saying that you shouldn't put more pressure on the gun with your support hand than you do your dominant hand, that is true. But on this one, you want to crush the apple with both hands, is what I'm trying to say. It does have some snap to it, no question. So if anybody says, well, that looks snappy, it's a compact 40 S&W. So yes, of course it's snappy. So if you are recoil sensitive, I would not recommend this gun by any stretch of the imagination. So the curse of missing one on the last magazine still is intact. Okay, I always miss one on the last magazine. Anyway, this is my H&K P2000sk, my H&K P2000sk, and just a great firearm. Carry it a lot, can't recommend it enough. Consider going over, supporting me on Patreon, $5 a month, cancel anytime. Also, gsquaredtactical.com. You can support the channel monetarily over there as well. Donate as much as you want, as often as you want. All of it goes back into the channel to buy ammunition, etc. Also, as always, make sure you know Christ is your Savior once again, and on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and to God only be the glory.